have any followers or supporters or anything. So I'm just gonna talk. I'm riding to my mom's right now. I have a doctor's appointment. So you guys don't know me really well. So my name's I know this thing keeps reconnecting. It's really weird. Anyway, and I have a really crazy life story. It's really complicated. So I was born with double pneumonia, and I was hospitalized for a little while. And that was my first experience into life. After that, I did have scarlet fever, 104 fever. My mom called 911, brought me to the hospital. I think I was a few months old. That's pretty much all of the medical conditions that I had early. After that, when I was 6 years old, I started really to experience some headaches in kindergarten, which was really weird for a kid to say they have headaches. They have headaches. Not liking loud noises, and so my mom and dad took me to doctors. I ended up having tubes put in my ears and my adenoids taken out, which didn't really help. It was just an unnecessary surgery. So they finally took me to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and when I was there, the doctor did a CAT scan. And when he did the CAT scan, he saw that they needed to do something immediately. So the next day I had surgery, my first brain surgery. A stent was placed, and it lasted like 10 years. So in 2006, I had turned 18, and I started having issues again. Started having headaches, really bad migraines, double vision, loud noises bothered me, and my parents were like, oh my gosh. So we decided to go back to doctors, and literally everybody was like, you are crazy, this is all in your head, you want attention for some reason, and you know what's going on, see a therapist. So my parents were like, go back to job. So we did. We went back. And the doctor, they couldn't find anything wrong, but they said, if you're serious about this, we'll do an exploratory surgery. And we don't know if you're lying, and nothing is wrong, and we will go into your brain for nothing, or something is wrong that we can't see, and let's see. And they went in, and my stent that was placed was clogged, and there was no test for it. Nobody could see it, but I could feel it. And I had so much pressure in my head that my cyst ruptured, and I ended up losing blood, and it was scary for the doctor, and it was a bad surgery, and I have a nicked nerve, optical nerve in my right eye. He had to close the cyst, try to close the cyst, and he tied it into the fourth ventricle of my brain to close it off, and it was really like a 6-hour procedure when it was only supposed to be like a 2. It was scary, and recovering from that was really scary. And when they came in, they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry that everybody thought you were lying. You were telling the truth." So that was really cool that people actually it was the first time everybody was like, "Okay, she really knows her body. She knows what she's talking about." So that's always my motto. If you know what's going on with your body, because it's your body. So if you're hurt or you feel something is wrong, go with your gut, 100%. But 2007, I started having headaches again, and I was like, I'm having headaches again. So I went right back to that doctor, and he said, "Let's go back in and see what's going on." And the ventricle that they tied into had closed off, because that body's way of, if you make a hole, it closes it. So sorry, the pressure had built right back up in my head, so there was pressure and pressure and pressure just building over that year, and I couldn't take it anymore. So another surgery was done, more fluid came out, the cerebral spinal fluid came out, and that was that. So I was fine for a few months, like 6 months, and then 2008 again. So we went to Mount Sinai, because I was older now. So we found a great doctor. She was like a top doctor in Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. We were referred to her by our doctor, and she took us right in. She put a full VP shunt in from my head all the way down to my stomach. But the problem with that was I couldn't stand up, because all the cerebral spinal fluid just dropped, and that was really, really hard. So that kind of stunk. So I literally laid in bed for like a month. After that, I had another surgery to place a valve in. So she has to take everything out and put everything back in. So that kind of stunk, but I needed it done. So after years, I was fine, and then 2011, really like 2010, 9-10 on, I was still having really bad headaches. So then we went to Johns Hopkins in Maryland, and I got the chief, the head of neurosurgery over there, like the number 2 term, a full take everything out, put everything back in. This time it was a VA shunt, so it's in the ventricle of my jugular, and then goes into my heart. And it was a really scary surgery. I was scared because it was in my jugular. I didn't want my jugular cut or touched, or didn't want to bleed out. So that was scary. And VP shunt that was in my body, they saw that I had staph infection, which was absolutely, they were stunned, because they didn't know how I lived with staph infection. They didn't know how it just stayed in one part of the shunt. It could have went to my brain. I could have died. It was really scary. So I had to stay in the hospital for 2 weeks on an IV antibiotic drip, just to make sure that my body was clear. It was, so that 2013 surgery was scary. So then 2011, so 2013 I had another surgery. I was actually pregnant with my son. I was 16 weeks pregnant, and I needed my valve shortened a little bit, because it was scraping the right atrium of my heart. Because when you're pregnant, your heart beats faster to contract to like keep up with two bodies inside your heart because you're pregnant. So while my body's working hard to pump blood to my body and my baby's body, my shunt was moving around a lot, and I felt like I was having a heart attack. So that shunt pain needed to be taken care of. So I had to go under, and they had to cut it. My head was shaved a little bit, and I did that while pregnant. And my son has no residual effects of that at all whatsoever, and he's doing wonderful. And I still have some headaches, but as far as the shunt goes itself, I've had another series done, but the technology they've made is really awesome, where they can test if there's pressure or if there's a stop, or if there's like leaking. And I've had pressure before where they've had to take some pressure out because it's just sat. Some of my cerebral spinal fluid, my pressure settings have been changed. So technology is just wonderful. So that's the first part. And then after all that, I got diagnosed with cancer. So after all of that, that was the first part of my life. In 2017, May 17th, I was diagnosed with leukemia. Can you believe it? After all those surgeries, after all that, I got diagnosed with cancer. God said, you know what? She hasn't had enough. She can take it. Let me just sprinkle a little bit more on her plate because she can take it. So I took it. I decided that I was going to take cancer by the kahunas and run with it. And that's what I did. I struggled, and it was hard, and it was a fight, and it was, I had good days and bad days, and I did ask why me. I had a lot of why me days. I had a lot of, I have struggled. I've had 7 brain surgeries. I've had a lot of deaths in my family. Why me? And I'm now understanding why me. I have this cell in my body, this TP53 cell, that is popping up. That's new. It's very new. That they're just finding out. They're just looking at it. They're just researching it. It's really, really new. Now, if you have this mutation, you're supposed to have 2 of these cells in your body. The mutation is you only have 1 of these cells. Now, if you only have 1 of these cells, it's called Lou-Ferroni syndrome, where you can get cancer very easily. So you, most of the cancers are like breast cancer, cervical cancer, colon cancer, leukemia, sarcoma, brain cancer. Now, I've had leukemia. My sister has had brain cancer. My aunt has had sarcoma. So when we told the geneticist all that, they have red flags for us. Red flag. The red flag is, hey, look, there's this girl. She has this cell. It has popped up. Her sister's had brain cancer. Her aunt has had sarcoma. She's had leukemia. Now, my grandmother's sister has had leukemia, and her daughter has had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is also a type of blood cancer. So it's kind of in her family. So red flags are up. Now, it's it's kind of scary because my results came back and they're inconclusive. It showed that the cell is there, but it's not like 100% there. So the doctors aren't sure if it's a new type of mutation that they've never seen before. If it's in my mom and my sister and my son, or if it's just in me, and if it is just in me, where do we go from here? Testing. Like, what is next? Which scares me because I don't want to be a Henrietta Lacks. I don't want to be a guinea pig. I don't want to the rest of my life be just science, which is cool, don't get me wrong, and I want to save my family and I want to have answers, and I know the science community is probably like, oh my god, like, let's do this, let's see this girl, let's get involved, and my doctor is like this is so cool, but I just want to be able to maintain my family life and help when I can, and I don't want to sound selfish or anything, but it's scary kind of too, because I don't know what's next. Will cancer be a thing in my future? Will I get it again because I've had leukemia? Is it always in my body? What does this all mean? Will my son have it? Should I not have any more kids? Should I get my tooth tied? Should I not have any kids to begin with? There's a lot of questions that I would love answers to, but they don't even know, because they don't know what this cell is or what this cell means, and that's crazy to me. But for that reason, I would love to have answers. So, anyway, that is... I don't like corners where you can't see people. It's like, I can't see where you're coming from. That is my life, and that was all before I was 30. So I am putting my right foot forward and going into 30, and I am gonna smile, and I'm gonna laugh, and I'm going to be adventurous, and I'm gonna do things that scare me, and I'm going to I'm going to hopefully save a lot of people's lives, and I'm going to go on with this Cancer is an Asshole, and I'm going to build my brand, and I'm going to do research, and I think life is going to be great this second half. So thanks for watching. Thanks for knowing to get me. And I hope you like my silly little channel.